अञ्जनाशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपा कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वापदान्तिकम्। वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरो श्रीयुतापदकमलं श्रीगुरून् वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातां सहगना रघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधाकृष्णपदान् सहगना ललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितांश्च हे कृष्णकरुणा सिन्धु दीनबन्धु जगत्पते गोपेशा गोपिकान्त राधाकान्त नमोऽस्तुते तप्तकाञ्चन गौराङ्गी राधे वृन्दावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपासिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। नमो विष्णुपदाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्त स्वामिनिति नामिने नमस्ते सरस्वती देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देशतारिणे जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासादि गौर भक्तवृंदा हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्णा हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे मुखं करोति वाचालं पङ्गुं लङ्घयते गिरिं यत्कृपातमहं वन्दे श्रीगुरुं दीनतारिणं परमानन्दमाधवं श्रीचैतन्य ईश्वरम्. Wonderful. Thank you for joining in today's Nectar of Devotion reading. So we are on the chapter of Krishna's qualities, and we are starting from Krishna's. We have covered many qualities. We are today starting with artistic quality. How Krishna is very artistic. Even before even reading, we see sometimes in the sky there are so beautiful how the clouds are formed, or even certain times you see a sunset, very beautiful colors, very vibrant colors. um, and Krishna has created everything because he is actually the ultimate creator for everything. So that is one way we can see Krishna's artistic nature in material world. Or even you see, during spring season when it starts, so many types of flowers, so many types of plants they grow actually, and then it's all of a sudden becomes really lush green, so nice actually. So I was just thinking about it. Srila Rupa Goswami writes, one who can talk and dress himself very artistically is called Vidagdha. I was just reading on a separate book actually, which is written by Srila Jiva Goswami. He speaks about when the Gopas, along with Krishna, they go to the forest for herding the cows. So they wear beautiful clothes and they wear ornaments, and then they actually decorate themselves with various kinds of flowers which grow during spring season. So I was just thinking, when one who can talk and dress himself very artistically is called Vidagdha. This exemplary characteristic was visible in the personality of Sri Krishna. It is spoken by Radharani as follows. So Srimati Radharani is writing about Krishna. Who can be a better poet than describing that? My dear friend, just see how Krishna has nicely composed songs, and now he dances and speaks funny words and play on his flute, wearing such nice garlands. He has dressed himself in such an enchanting way, as though he had defeated all kinds of players at chessboard. He lives wonderfully at the topmost height of artistic craftsmanship. Of course, because he is the creator of everything. So, if craft itself or craftsmanship itself comes from Krishna, so how Krishna will be such a artistic in craftsmanship? Krishna is clever. Before even we read there, I was just we I think we covered Jayadra. Did I cover last time how Krishna killed Jayadra? Did I cover that last week? I think I did. Is that right?
I think you did, Prabhu.
Yeah, I'll cover another pastime of Krishna, how he is intelligent actually. I also covered that pastime how Krishna asked Draupadi that you get me that Akshay Patra. I covered that story also, but this is the other one. When I was just listening this morning. So actually, after the whole Kurukshetra war is finished, very few people are left. Actually, huge number of people actually left their world, left that world at the time in the war. So there is one guy who's Ashwathama. He's alive actually. So he wants to take a revenge for his father's death. So what he does is actually, while Draupadi's five sons, the only five sons who are left, they are sleeping in their tent. This guy actually brutally killed them. Not that he is fighting with them, he actually killed them while they are asleep. And then Draupadi is crying the next day. Are, what had happened? She was just crying. And Arjuna was so angry, he wanted to take her revenge. He said, I will bring Ashwathama's head here and you can stand on his head. So Arjuna goes along with Krishna and chases Ashwathama. Ashwathama is running everywhere. But now his horses are tired. So at that time he realizes there is no other place to go. So he takes water, recites the mantra, and releases Brahmastra. And Brahmastra, when he throws in the sky, it was so brilliantly lighted actually. Nobody was able to see anything. Arjuna was also, my dear Lord, what is this? Krishna said, Arjuna, Ashwatthama has released the Brahmastra. He knows how to throw that arrow, but he does not know how to retract it. So now you do one thing, you know how to retract. So now you also release Brahmastra. So Arjuna released Brahmastra, and then both these Brahmastra got nullified. And then Arjuna caught hold of Ashwatthama, dragged him in front of Draupadi. Now this is very beautiful pastime actually from Draupadi's side actually, the compassion. Draupadi says Kripi, who is the wife of Dronacharya, she has only one son. I know what it feels to lose the kids. I don't want her to be without the child. I can't see her crying because at the end of the day she's your teacher's wife, Brahman Patni. So she said, let him go. Yudhishthir also likes that idea. He says, wow, Draupadi, this is great. So he is also aligned. Arjuna is also aligned. But Bhima is not aligned. Bhima is really angry. This guy should be killed. And Krishna, actually, Arjuna looks at Krishna because he doesn't know what to do because Bhima is his elder brother, which means he should follow his instruction. He's telling Arjuna, kill this guy. But Krishna sees and Arjuna looks at Krishna. He says, what should I do? He said, for Kshatriya, disrespects is worse than death. So what you do is he has a money on his head. Cut his hair and remove that money and leave him just like that. So he does like that. So Krishna is very clever. A person who can perform various types of work at once is called clever. In this connection, one of the gopis said, my dear friend, just see the clever activities of Sri Krishna. He has composed nice songs about the coward boys and is pleasing the cows. By the movement of his eyes, he is pleasing the gopis. And at the same time, he is fighting with demons like Arishtasur. In this way, he is sitting with different living entities in different ways and he is thoroughly enjoying the situation. How many of us, I just struggle with myself. I cannot do multitasking. When I'm doing something, the call is going on, I can't understand what else has to be done. This because I'm just a byproduct of material energy. But see, beautiful part of Krishna, he's composing the nice songs and he's pleasing the boys as well as the cows, and with the eyes he is pleasing the gopis also, and he's also fighting with Arishtasur at the same time. And Arishtasur is not just like an ant, he's like a powerful demon. This is Krishna. In this way, he's sitting with different living entities in different ways and he's thoroughly enjoying the situation. Very beautiful. The next one is Krishna is an expert. Any person who can quickly execute a very difficult task is called expert. Like he lifted Govardhan Hill actually. About the expertise of Krishna, there is a statement in 10th canto 59 chapter verse 17 of Srimad Bhagavatam, whereas Sukadeva Goswami tells Parikshit, O best of the Kuru, Sri Krishna cut to pieces all the different weapons used by different fighters. Formerly, fighting was done by releasing different kind of arrows. One party would release a certain arrow, another party had to defeat it by counteracting with another arrow. For example, one party might release an arrow that would cause water to pour from the sky. And to counteract this, the opposing party would have to release an arrow that could immediately turn the water into clouds. So, from this statement, it appears that Krishna was very expert in counteracting the enemy's arrow. Similarly, at the Rasa dance, each and every gopi requested that Krishna individually become their partner, her partner, and Krishna immediately expanded into so many Krishnas in order to be coupled with each and every gopi. This results were that each gopi found Krishna by her side. They did not know that Krishna is with other gopi. They felt Krishna is only with me. So he is very, very, very expert in dealing things, taking care of things. In Srimad Bhagavatam also, there is a chapter which talks about how Krishna is a perfect grasta. He wakes up early in the morning, how he takes care of his rulership, the kingdom, as well as taking care of everyone, taking care of his wives. Krishna is grateful. It's a very beautiful quality. Any person who is conscious of his friend's beneficent activities and never forget his service is called grateful. In Mahabharata, Krishna says, when I was away from Draupadi, she cried with words, Hey Govinda, this call for me has put me in a debt, and that indebtedness is gradually increasing in my heart. Can you imagine how can Krishna be in debt? He's a Lakshmipati. But what is his debt? When devotee calls him with love and affection, he feels indebted. And that's what he says to gopis also. How can one please the Supreme Lord simply by addressing him, Hey Krishna, Hey Govinda? Sudama, he just brought actually chipped rice, the cheap quality of chipped rice, because he was so poor, he just begged. He brought the chipped rice. Krishna was so eager to eat that. And same pastime is there in Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's Leela also. There is one brahmachari, a beggar actually. His name is Sukhvinder Brahmachari. Now, Sukhvinder Brahmachari, he has nothing actually. Even the lota from where he drinks, he just has one container. He used to attend nature's call also with that, and he would actually drink from that. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu came and drank from there. Sukhvinder Brahmachari, what are you doing, my lord? But Lord Chaitanya wouldn't stop. And he started eating whatever Sukhvinder Brahmachari would beg actually. He same Sudama in his previous life. And he was so happy eating those raw rice actually. How many of us can eat raw rice? But Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was so happy, the same Krishna. The Mahamantra Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama Hare Hare is also simply an address to the Lord and his energy. So to anyone who is constantly engaged in addressing the Lord and his energy, we can imagine how much Supreme Lord is obliged. I shared it in different contexts, but very nice. Vaman Dev actually came to Bali Maharaj to ask 3 steps of land. And Vaman Dev covers everything in 2 steps. And he says, Where should I put my third step? And Bali Maharaj says, You put the third step on my head. Because I have an ego that I am a possessor of everything, but I don't possess anything. Everything is your property. So Vaman Dev actually bind him with the rope because you did not fulfill your vow. And then Brahmaji, who is actually is with Krishna's devotee, come, my dear Lord, what are you doing? He's surrendering everything and you're binding him. So what did Lord do? He actually became the doorkeeper of Bali Maharaj. Even today, he is a doorkeeper of Bali Maharaj. And I shared this story some time back. So now Vaman Dev, who is none other than Lord Vishnu, who is his wife Mother Lakshmi. So now Vaman Dev's palace, he has multiple doors. So he can enter from anywhere. And Vaman Dev is a doorkeeper. So he wants to take the darshan of his devotee. So he circumambulate, he just runs around the whole palace. Maybe Vali Maharaj will come from this gate, I'll be able to welcome him, or this gate, that gate. Mother Lakshmi went to him to take Rakhi, and then she took the Rakhi and then applied it on Bali Maharaj's hand. She put that, she tied it, and Bali Maharaj said, "What should I give you?" Lakshmi says, "You know what, my husband, he just runs the whole palace. He doesn't know from which gate you will come. So he's just being there, your servant. Can you make sure you just dedicate one gate from where you can gate out and gate in? Because otherwise, Lord Vishnu will not gate out of the. Mother Lakshmi is not asking, oh, you know what? Please ask my husband to be freed from that activity or that service." He says, "No, please at least use one gate to come out and go in. So this is so beautiful actually. Krishna is so grateful to his devotees. So that anyone who is engaged, constantly engaged in addressing the Lord and his energy, we can imagine how much the Supreme Lord is obliged. It is impossible for Lord to ever forget such a devotee. It is clearly stated in this verse that anyone who addresses the Lord immediately attracts the attention of the Lord, who always remains obliged to him. Another instance of Krishna's feeling of obligation is stated in connection with his dealing with Jambavan. Very nice pastime actually. You know who's Jambavan? Anybody remember? Who's Jambavan?
Is it from, sorry, Prabhu, is it from the Ramayana?
Yes, yes. Same
Um,
Jambavan who actually showed the path to Hanuman. He reminded him is of power. And he actually asked him that you go across these seven ocean and go to Lanka. You remember that?
yes, Prabhu.
So same Jambavan actually is there in Krishna Leela also. And Krishna married his daughter, whose name is Jambavati. So here it says that when Lord was present at Lord Ramachandra, Jambavan, the great king of monkeys, rendered very faithful service to him. When the Lord again appeared as Lord Krishna, he married Jambavan's daughter and paid him in all respect that they usually given to superior. Any honest person is obliged to his friend if some service has been rendered unto him. Since Krishna is a supreme honest personality, how can he forget an obligation to his servitor? It's a very beautiful pastime. There is a pastime called a Shwamantaka jewel. You can read it in Krishna book and you can also read it in Srimad Bhagavatam. So the Shamantaka jewel was stolen. It somehow reaches to Jambavan. And Lord Krishna is searching, and then Jambavan doesn't realize that Krishna is none other than Supreme Personality of God, and he's Lord Ram. And he actually fights with Lord Krishna for many, many days. And finally he realizes, Arey, he's so powerful, he must be Supreme Lord Ram only. So that's the beautiful point. Any questions or comments before we move to the next section? Looks like no. Okay.
No, Prabhu, but I just want to ask you, when you say Jambavan, that is the Ramayana when the Ram appeared, the Bhagwan
Yes.
Ram appeared. But now with the Bhagwan Krishna, so what was the character again?
He was Jambavan only, not that he changes. He continued, he was still living when Lord Krishna appeared. So he not that he left and then again came back in Lord Krishna's pastime. He was living since then.
Oh, okay.
So Satya Yuga, Treta Yuga, can you imagine lakhs of years, millions of years. He crossed that and still there alive. And his daughter Jambavati, he gives his daughter's hand to Lord Krishna.
Okay. Thank you, Prabhu.
And I just how grateful is what we covered. Determined. Any person who observes regulative principles and fulfills his promise by practical activity is called determined. As far as Lord's determination is concerned, there is an example in the dealing in Hari Vamsha. That's the another scripture, very nice actually. This is in connection with Lord Krishna's fighting the king of heaven Indra, who was forcibly deprived of Parijata flower. So maybe little give you a little glimpse. So in heavenly planet, in Lord Indra's palace, there is a tree called as Parijata tree. These flowers are not ordinary flowers. They are flowers with the nectar, very fragrant. So Parijata is a kind of lotus flower grown on the heavenly planet. Once Lord Krishna's wife Satyabhama One of Krishna's queen wanted that lotus flower, and Krishna promised to deliver it, but Indra refused to part with Parijata flower. He said, Parijata flower is not going to the earthly planet. This is in Vrindavan. Therefore, Krishna actually had a fight with, therefore, Indra had a fight with Krishna. And the Pandavas on one side and all of the demigods. Then there was a great fight with Krishna and the Pandavas on one side and all of the demigod on the other. Ultimately, Krishna defeated all of them and took the Parijata flower, which he presented to his queen. So, in regard to that occurrence, Krishna told Narada Muni, my dear great sage of demigods, now you can declare to the devotees in general and to non devotees in particular that in this matter of taking Parijata flower, all the demigods, the Gandharvas, the Nagas, the demon Rakshasas, Yakshasas, Panagas tried to defeat me, but none could make me break my promise to my queen. A very beautiful pastime, actually. I read it in Garga Samhita, but that is quoted from Hari Vamsha actually. There is another promise by Krishna in Bhagavad Gita to the effect that his devotee will never be vanquished. So a sincere devotee who is always engaged in transcendental loving service of the Lord should know for certain that Krishna will never break his promise. He will always protect his devotees in every circumstance. Name bhaktya prayashyati. My devotee will never perish. Krishna showed how he fulfilled his promise by delivering a Parijata flower to Satyabhama, by saving Draupadi from being insulted, and by freeing Arjuna from the attacks of all enemies. You know this pastime? When the war was finished, Arjuna was there on the chariot. Krishna first got down. No, Krishna was there. Krishna asked Arjuna, you get down from the chariot. Arjuna said, my dear Lord, no, you first get down. Krishna says, I am ordering you get down from the chariot. Arjuna got down. Krishna just put his foot out on the ground. The whole chariot collapsed and crushed into pieces. And Arjuna was bewildered. My dear Lord, what was that? Krishna said, when the opposing party, do you think their arrows were never touching you? When the opposing party were throwing those arrows, I was moving the chariot down or up depending on where they are targeting. So all these arrows were captured in the chariot. These are deadly arrows. And now, as long as I was sitting, nothing happened to the chariot. That's why I asked you to get down. The moment I got down, the whole chariot is destroyed. This is how Krishna, Bhakta Vatsala, that is one of the other name of Krishna. The promise of Krishna that his devotees never vanquished had also previously been admitted by Indra when he was defeated in Govardhan Leela. We know that about. When Krishna stopped the villagers of Vraja from worshipping Indra, Indra became angry and therefore inundated Vrindavan with continuous rain. Krishna, however, protected all of the citizens and animals of Vrindavan by lifting Govardhan hill, which served as an umbrella. After the incident was over, Indra surrendered to Krishna with many prayers, in which they admitted, by your lifting Govardhan hill and protecting the citizens of Vrindavan, you have kept your promise that your devotee are never to be vanquished. Name Bhaktya Pranashyati. Beautiful, actually, Krishna's promise. My devotee never perishes. Imagine who can support us. None of our family members can say that I will never make you perish. They can't control things actually. But Krishna says, one who takes my shelter, one who sincerely practices Krishna consciousness, I take care of, I provide what they lack, and I preserve what they have. Naresh Prabhu, can you read this next section?
Yeah, Prabhu. Krishna was very expert in dealing with people according to circumstances, country, time, and paraphernalia. How he could take advantage of particular time, circumstance, and the person is expressed by him while talking to Uddhava about his rasa dance with the gopis. He says the most opportune time is the full moon night in autumn, like tonight. The best place within the universe is Vrindavana, and the most beautiful girls are the gopis. So, my dear friend Uddhava, I think I should now take advantage of all these circumstances and engage myself in the rasa dance.
Thank you, Prabhu. Who are these gopis? They are actually the wives of Krishna. Same gopis came in the form of Dwarka Patnis. So not that Krishna had affair with many girls. Krishna was their husband, and Krishna is a husband of all of you. We are Prakriti. We are not male. We are female. All of us. Though maybe we will be probably in male body, but we are all Prakriti. And Krishna is the only husband. Krishna is the only Purusha. Ishwara Parama Krishna Sachidananda Vigra. Anadi Radhi Govinda Sar. He is the only Purusha. There is no other Purusha. Go ahead, Prabhuji.
Sealed by the authority of the scriptures. A person who acts exactly according to the tenets of scripture is called Shastra Chakshus. Shastra Chakshus means one who sees through the eyes of the authorized scriptures. Actually, any man of knowledge and experience should see everything through these books. For example, with our naked eyes, we perceive the sun globe simply as some glaring substance. But when we see through the authorized books of science and other literature, we can understand how much greater the sun globe is than this earth and how powerful it is. So, seeing things through the naked eye is not actually seeing. Seeing things through the authorized books or authorized teacher is the correct way to see. So, although Krishna is the supreme personality of Godhead and can see all that is past, present, and future, to teach the people in general, he used to always refer to the scriptures. For example, in Bhagavad Gita, although Krishna was speaking as the supreme authority, he still mentioned and quoted Vedanta Sutra as authority. There is a statement in Srimad Bhagavatam wherein a person jokingly says that Krishna, the enemy of Kamsa, is known as the sea through the Shastras. In order to establish his authority, however, he is now engaged in seeing the gopis, whereby the gopis are becoming maddened.
Yeah, that Krishna would quote from scriptures, because this is a very important part. Nobody can whimsically say something. It has to be authorized by scriptures, talking about what exactly comes there from that perspective. You're okay to read next one, Prabhu? Or there is office thing going on?
No, Prabhu. So some still, somebody pinging. I just muted.
That's why I realize I'm like, this is the Slack mess, Slack thing ping. I did.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
realized.
I'm using my office laptop.
No, I realized that the ping I understood this is Slack. Go ahead, Prabhu. And
Pure.
if you can't do, just let me know.
No, I'm good, Prabhu. Yeah, pure. There are two kinds of supreme purity. When one type is possessed, one is able to deliver a sinful person. When the other type is possessed, one does not do anything that is impure. A person who possesses either of these qualities is called supremely pure. Krishna is both. He can deliver all sinful conditioned souls, and at the same time, he never does anything by which he can be contaminated.
Just 1 second, Prabhu, on that part. You
Yeah.
see, one on the quality of sun. Sun can evaporate everything. Even the dirtiest thing on the road can also, like, even the urine is there, that will also get evaporated. Or even the pure water can also evaporate it. But sun never gets contaminated. There's a wonderful example in Krsna. So Krishna can never be contaminated because he is the ultimate purifier. Go ahead, Prabhu.
In this connection, Vidura, while trying to detach his elder brother Dhritarashtra from his familial attachments, said, "My dear brother, you just fix your mind on the lotus feet of Krishna, who is worshipped with beautiful, erudite verses by great sages and saintly persons. Krishna is the supreme deliverer among all deliverers. Undoubtedly, there are great demigods like Lord Shiva and Lord Brahma, but their position as deliverers depend always upon the mercy of Krishna. Therefore, Vidura advised his elder brother Dhritarashtra to concentrate his mind and worship only Krishna. If one simply chants the holy name of Krishna, this holy name will rise within one's heart like the powerful sun and will immediately dissipate all the darkness of ignorance. Vidura advised Dhritarashtra to therefore think always of Krishna so that the volumes of contaminations due to sinful activities would be washed off immediately. In Bhagavad Gita, also Krishna is addressed by Arjuna as Param Brahma Parandama Pavitram, the supreme pure. There are many other instances exhibiting Krishna's supreme purity.
Yeah, very beautiful actually. Can you imagine Dhritarashtra? Krishna came as a messenger and told him, saying that give those 5 villages to Pandavas. But Duryodhana's power is that he called out his messengers, or he called out his army to catch hold of him, put him under the behind the bars. Dhritarashtra didn't do anything. So many times Krishna gave him indication, man, just give it up. He in fact threw Vidura out. The Duryodhan actually very badly actually disrespected Vidura and asked him to get out. And Vidura went to the pilgrimage. By behind that, all this war happened and everyone died. And Vidura came again to Dhritarashtra to remind him, all your sons are dead. He was still sitting on the chair of the king. Can you imagine? His all 100 sons are dead. His whole army is dead. So that time Vidura actually told him, what are you doing? What he did, he called Bhima, because Bhima is the one who killed Duryodhana, and he wanted to hug him. Dhritarashtra was very powerful, by the way. He wanted to crush Bhima by his embrace. Krishna knew it. You know what Krishna did? He said, make the exact replica of Bhima. What they call it as? Diorama? What is that? Something they call it as. Like a statue. And Dhritarashtra was behind, so he called Bhima, please come, and they put the this diorama or the statue of Bhima, and the whole statue got crushed into pieces. Can you imagine? Everybody is dead, and this guy still can actually kill his brother's children. This time, not even Duryodhana is not there, but that ill nature is there. That is what is being identified here. Self control. Please go ahead, Prabhuji.
A person who can control his senses fully is called Vasi or self controlled. In this connection, it is stated in Srimad Bhagavatam all the 16,000 wives of Krishna were so exquisitely beautiful that their smiling and shyness were able to captivate the minds of great demigods like Lord Shiva. But still, they could not even agitate the mind of Krishna in spite of their attractive feminine behavior. Every one of the thousands of wives of Krishna was thinking that Krishna was captivated by her feminine beauty, but this was not in the case. Krishna is therefore the supreme controller of the senses, and this is admitted in Bhagavad Gita, where he is addressed as Rishikesha, the master of the senses.
Really prominent statement actually. He has 16,108 wives, and they are Lakshmis. Even Lakshmis would shy away compared to their beauty, but they were not able to attract Krishna. They were not able to captivate his attraction. What a power actually! So self-control. I will read the next section and you can read the next one.
Yeah.
Steadfast. A person who continues to work until he desired goal is achieved is called steadfast. There was a fight between Krishna and King Jambo, and I was mentioning about little earlier. Krishna was to take the valuable Shamantaka jewel from the king. The king tried to hide himself in the forest, but Krishna would not become discouraged. Krishna finally got the jewel by seeking out the king with great steadfastness. That's the homework. I generally don't ask you. You should go to Krishna book. It's there on Veda base. Read the pastime of Shamantaka jewel. It's very beautiful. Go ahead, Prabhu.
Forbearing. A person who tolerates all kinds of troubles, even though such troubles appear to be unbearable, is called forbearing. When Krishna was residing at the place of his spiritual master, he did not mind taking all troubles in rendering service to his guru. Although his body was very soft and delicate, it is the duty of a disciple to execute all services unto the spiritual master despite all kinds of difficulties. The disciple living at the residence of the spiritual master has to go one second. Yeah.
Begging.
Yeah, has to go begging from door to door and bring everything back to the spiritual master. When prasada is being served, the spiritual master is supposed to call each and every disabled to come eat. If by chance the spiritual master forgets to call a disabled to partake of the prasada, it is enjoined in the scripture that the student should fast on the day rather than the accept food on his own initiative. There are many such strictures. Sometimes also Krishna went to the forest to collect dry wood for fuel.
Can you imagine what kind of handle if you're not spiritual master forgot to call your name? Fast the entire day and working really hard for the guru. Krishna is very forgiving. Go ahead. You're okay to read this? This is a
Yeah,
very
yeah.
beautiful pastime. Hmm.
A person who can tolerate all kinds of offenses from the opposite party is known to be forgiving. Lord Krishna's forgiving quality is described in the Shishupala Vada in connection with his forbidding the killing of Sisupala. King Sisupala was the monarch of the Chedi kingdom, and although he happened to be a cousin of Krishna's, he was always envious of him. Whenever they would meet, Sisupala would try to insult Krishna and call him ill names as much as possible. In the arena of Rajasuya sacrifice of Maharaja Yudhishthira, when Sisupala began to call Lord Krishna ill names, Krishna did not care and remained silent. Some of the people at the arena were prepared to kill Sisupala, but Krishna restricted them. He was so forgiving. It is said that when there is thundering sound in the clouds, the mighty lion immediately replies with his thundering roar. But the lion doesn't care when all the foolish jackals begin to make their less important sounds. Sri Amunacharya praises Krishna's power of forgiveness with the following statement: My dear Lord Ramachandra, you are so merciful to have excused the crow's clawing on the nipple of Janaki simply because of his bowing down before you. Once Indra,
I
the king
will.
of yeah, bro.
Go ahead. Read this. This is the pastime I wanted to say. Yeah.
Once Indra, the king of heaven, assumed the form of crow and attacked Sita, Janaki, Lord Ramachandra's wife, by striking her on the breast. This was certainly an insult to the universal mother. Sita and Lord Ramachandra was immediately prepared to kill the crow, but because later on the crow bowed down before the Lord excused his offense. Sri Yamunacharya further says in his prayer that the forgiving power of Lord Krishna is even greater than that of Lord Ramachandra because Sisupala was always in the habit of insulting Krishna, not only in one lifetime but continually
Wow.
throughout three lives. Still, Krishna was so kind and he gave Sisupala the salvation of merging into his existence. From this, we can understand that the goal of the monist to merge into the effluence of Supreme is not a very difficult problem. Person like Sisupala who are consistently inimical to Krishna can also get to his liberation.
Wow. Can you imagine? I remember the guy who fired me in my previous job. I'm like, I would never add him on LinkedIn. This is just a connection. Man, you fired me. I lost and I'm struggling because of you fired me. You kept the other folks here. Forget about just one thing here. This guy is every day since three lifetimes giving him illness. Okay, Krishna will say, no, I'll forget it. That's okay. You know, some people say. He's giving him liberation after killing him. How many of us will do that? Like, you have an enemy and you tell him liberation means, oh, you know, you're giving his house. Oh, you know what? You're such a nice fellow. I'll give you the keys of my house. You go and stay as long as you want. Hare Krishna, this is just completely beyond imagination. This is a very beautiful chapter, actually. Very deep contemplation we can do on Krishna's beautiful qualities here. Go ahead, Prabhu, with grave.
Grave. A person who does not express his mind to everyone or whose mental activity and plan of action are very difficult to understand is called grave. After Lord Sri Krishna had been offended by Brahma, Brahma prayed to him to be excused. But in spite of his offering nice prayers to Krishna, Brahma could not understand whether Krishna was satisfied or still dissatisfied. In other words, Krishna was so grave that he did not take the prayers of Brahma very seriously. Another instance of Krishna's gravity is found in connection with his love affairs with Radharani. Krishna was always very silent about his love affairs with Radharani, so much so that Baladeva, Krishna's elder brother and constant companion, could not understand the transformations of Krishna on account of his gravity.
Wow. Can you imagine this thing part? This is Brahma Vimon Leela. So what happens is Krishna is actually eating with Gopas that day. Okay? And Brahmaji steals all the Gopas. And then Krishna manifests himself in Gopas and calves and all for 1 year, because one moment of Brahma is 1 year in Prithvi, in the Loka, Mrityu Loka, which is called as Mrityu Loka, where we live, by the way. And after 1 year, when Brahmaji comes and Krishna is eating with the Gopas, and he was bewildered, what's going on here? And he went to the clouds where he hid on stolen Gopas. They were still there sleeping. So he was bewildered what's happening. And Krishna actually really put him down, humiliated him. And when Brahmaji came to offer prayer, Krishna, who was eating curd rice 1 year back, that curd rice was still stuck on his finger. Can you imagine? And it was still soft. Like you see, curd rice, when you keep it, it just becomes dry. And how much time has passed? 1 year has passed. Krishna was eating with the Gopas 1 year before. And when the Gopas come back, of course, Brahmaji beg forgiveness and bring the Gopas. The Gopas actually come to the same place where Krishna is eating 1 year before, okay? They come back and all those preparation which they were eating in the lunch was still as they are, still hot, still fragrant, and still tasty. Krishna, wow, so beautiful, unimaginable actually. And that is a beautiful quality of Krishna being grey. Go ahead, Prabhuji, read self satisfied.
Prabhuji, can you go up, Prabhuji? Just want to understand one
Yeah.
line.
Yeah.
Prabhuji, what is that, Prabhuji? But in spite of offering nice prayers to Krishna, Brahma could not understand whether Krishna was satisfied or still dissatisfied. In other words, Krishna was so
Neutral,
grave.
neutral expression. He did not do anything. He did not say anything. It's like you're insignificant. Like, for an example, you talk to me, you ask question, and I still just, and I continue reading, or I just continue whatever I'm doing. How would you feel? Hey, do you
Con- con-
recognize me? I'm here. I'm
con-
talking. Go ahead.
So why Krishna was like that, Prabhuji? Is like he put him.
You are the most intelligent person. Who is father of Brahma? Who's mother of Brahma? Lord Vishnu. He doesn't have a mother. He was born from the navel of Lord Vishnu. He is the first living entity who's created by Lord Vishnu. And he has been given the charge of procreation. And Lord Krishna, man, you still can't recognize me and you do such activities. How
Got
does it feel? It's just, he's like, is he listening to me? Am I talking? Can you hear me? Like a lot of times when we speak in the mute in the meeting and you keep like this, and nobody recognize what you said because you're on mute. And like when Brahmaji is speaking, Krishna is like, Brahmaji, like, knock, knock. Am I mute? Am I mute? No reaction.
okay. Got it, Prabhuji.
Makes sense, Prabhuji?
Yeah, Prabhuji. Can I go ahead with
Right. Yeah.
self-satisfied? A person who is fully satisfied in himself without any hankering and who is not agitated even in the presence of serious cause for distress is called self-satisfied. An example of Krishna's self-satisfaction was exhibited when he, Arjuna, and Bhima went to challenge Jarasandha, the formidable king of Magadha. Krishna gave all credit to Bhima for killing of Jarasandha. From this, we can understand that
You
Krishna
know what
never.
happened there, right?
Yeah,
He was
Prabhuji.
he pointed that you hit on the lower thigh.
Yeah, yeah.
Who got the credit? Bhima got the credit. But who gave all this thing?
Idea. I mean, he'll show some. What is that? Probably grass, right? Krishna.
He is a grass,
Yeah.
and then he shows and then break it like that. Exactly, just like that. So who is Bhima is not able to fight this guy. Just he's unconquerable. But he does it like that. He does it for Duryodhana like that with the grass and all that stuff. And Jarasandha, he points him like that. That you attack it here. Go ahead, bro.
From this, we can understand that Krishna never cares at all for fame, although no one can be more famous. An example of his not being disturbed was shown when Sisupala began to call him ill names. All the kings and Brahmanas assembled at the sacrificial arena of Maharaja Yudhishthira became perturbed and immediately wanted to satisfy Krishna by offering nice prayers. But all these kind but all these kings and Brahmanas could not discover any disturbance in Krishna's person.
Wow, I'll read this, give you a break. Processing equilibrium. A person who is unaffected by attachment and envy is said to be possess equilibrium. An example of Krishna equilibrium is given in 10th canto 16th chapter verse 33 of Srimad Bhagavatam in connection with his chastising Kali. I was just reading it yesterday actually. The 100-headed serpent, while Kalia was being severely punished, all of his wives appeared before the Lord and prayed as follows: Dear Lord, you have descended to punish all kind of demonic living creatures. Our husband, this Kalia, is greatly sinful creature. And so your punishment for him is quite appropriate. We know that your punishment of your enemies and your dealings with your sons are both the same. I'll read this again. We know that your punishment for your enemies and your dealing with your sons are both the same. Because he's a loving father. Nobody is enemy for him. We know that it is in the thinking of future welfare of his condemned creature that you have chastised me. In another prayer, it is said, My dear Lord Krishna, best of all the Kurus dynasty, you are so impartial that even if your enemy is qualified, you will reward him. And if one of your sons is culprit, you will chastise him. This is your business because you are the supreme author of the universe. You have no partiality. If anyone finds any partiality in your characteristics, he is surely mistaken. Go ahead, Prabhuji, magnanimous.
Magnanimous. Any person who is very charitably disposed is called magnanimous. When Krishna was reigning, reigning over Dwaraka, he was so magnanimous and charitably disposed that there was no limit to his charity. In fact, so great was his charity in Dwaraka that even the spiritual kingdom, with all of its opulence of Chintamani, desire trees, and Surabhi cows, was surpassed. In the spiritual kingdom of Lord Krishna, named Goloka Vrindavana, there are Surabhi cows that give unlimited quantities of milk. There are desert trees from which anyone can take all kinds of fruits as much as he may desire. The land is made of touchstone, which when touched to iron will transform it into gold. In other words, although in the spiritual kingdom, the abode of Krishna's, everything is wonderfully opulent. Still, when Krishna was in Dwaraka, his charity exceeded the opulence of Goloka Vrindavana. Wherever Krishna is present, the limitless opulence of Goloka Vrindavana is automatically present. It is also stated that while Lord Krishna was living in Dwaraka, he expanded himself into 16,108 forms, and each and every expansion resided in a palace with a queen. Not only was Krishna happily living with his queens in those palaces, but he was giving in charity from each palace an aggregate number of 13,054 cows completely decorated with nice clothing and ornaments. From each of Krishna's 16,108 palaces, these cows were given daily. This means that 13,054 multiplied by 16,108 cows were being given in charity by Krishna every day. No one can estimate the value of such a large number of cows given in charity, but that was the system of Krishna's daily affairs while he was reigning in Dwaraka.
Very beautiful, actually. Really beautiful. Now, by the way, we may not be able to connect what does it mean by charity of cows. We can't understand. But it is considered from the Vedic perspective. The land, the cow, these are considered to be two biggest opulences one can have. I was just talking to one of my friend who came actually. We're just talking about the way things are moving. The cost of living is so high, taxes are so high. We're just talking about we seriously need a land and cow so we can grow our own food and eat our own food from that perspective. But it's so difficult, Krishna. Monthly expenses are so unlimited. Paying taxes, house tax, property tax, so many things here and there, Krishna. It's so such an expensive affair actually living. But for Krishna, he was donating so many cows. Narada Muni actually went to every palace and he saw Krishna in every palace. Not that Krishna is disappearing from one palace, appearing in another place. Krishna was simultaneously in all 16,108 palaces with his wives. I think
Prabhuji,
we,
how about managing cows here in USA, Prabhuji? I mean, 3 years ago, no, I went with my friends to New Vrindavan,
hmm,
and there you'll have some programs, right? Some charities for the cows, like
yes,
per day
yes,
or per year or 2 years.
yeah,
We all four did one. What is that, cow adoption? Something for 1 year or 2 years, Prabhuji.
yes, yes.
So is it very expensive, Prabhuji, to maintain cows here in USA, Prabhuji? Uh,
Roji, the challenge here is that during the winter, the food is a problem. You understand? Because there is no fresh grass here, right?
yeah,
That just becomes a difficult aspect from that perspective. Plus, the problem is that you can't maintain at your house. You have to be away from the house, and that's why you see these cow herds and shades, they are so far away. But the challenge here is that for us is because we work, right? We go to office and all that stuff. We have to be little closer proximity to actually go there and all that stuff. It's pro actually we have complicated our life so much actually. All these natural way of living has been taken away from us actually. It's such a struggle actually to live a simple life today. So much dependency on so many external affairs to take care of that from that perspective. Even for our job, so many issues in the job, so many escalation. I just had a chat with my boss. Really tough time actually. Unnecessary escalation. I'm like, what am I doing wrong? Or it's just unnecessary pulling one down saying that Ari, I'm delivering work. Why are you making fuss about that? Imagine you being your own boss, taking care of the cows, taking care of your land. Just be peaceful, just connected with Mother Earth. It helps you so much actually. I like gardening and I like to take care of plants. Just having that connection with that, taking care of Tulsi Marani is such an important part of our life. So one has to live that natural life. Very difficult, bro. I don't know how to do that. Even I'm just, how will I do? Just don't know because the kids are there. They have to be taken care. So
yeah,
you have to have that not one family, few families coming together and doing that, and they have to have a same mindset. Yeah, not going back to this thing. So there are a lot of people, bro. I've seen devotees who have left America and they went to India. They stayed in some farmland there actually far away in some villages. They are just doing taking care of the cows, plowing the land there, and living a natural life there. Americans, well, when I say American, I mean living in America, but they left everything and was living there. Really amazing. Or even when you go to New Vrindavan, like you said,
yeah,
a lot of devotees stay close by. They have their own land, they grow vegetables, they live on that. They, because when you eat your own food, cook the what do they call a farm to fork? They call it as something like that. When you grow your own vegetables, you don't get sick because you know you're not putting any nonsense which we are getting. Like I have some capsicum growing in my this garden. They have a not as exact shape like you get it in the market. Man, how do they get the same shape? It perfectly
Prabhu,
shaped.
all GMO product.
Yeah, exactly. The apple you see, you get it from apple tree, it will be weird shape. All the apples are very well formed here. Where is that coming from? It
I think
just
we are paying the karmas, Prabhu, just living in here.
yeah, we are exactly. You brought up a good point. We are we are we are creating our own graveyard actually. I'm sorry to say that I'm feeling for myself. I'm like Krishna, I'm just so much complication in life. I can't just imagine how to handle that part.
Prabhu, if we have the little bit of the weather on our side, we could have done more.
I was actually telling the same to one of my friend Mataji who just came few minutes back. before I came into this class. He was telling there are devotees who get grow vegetables so much they can live on those vegetables for an entire year.
Yeah, you just have to preserve it somehow.
Exactly. And anyhow, what we get from outside is a preserved food. You don't get the fresh food which we can think about.
Yes, Prabhu. There is so many white people. They go to India and then started farm and everything.
Yeah, yeah. It is
But only
so.
thing is for us right now, even like if we plan, we cannot buy farmland. As a NRI, we cannot buy farmland. We have to have someone to buy it and then have to gift it. And I don't know how does that clause goes and
Yeah,
like
even when we just buy a land, buy a house to live in,
I
just
just
have.
need a rooftop. I can make my rooftop garden.
Here you go, rooftop, or even when you think about just having a empty area in your garden in your house. I was just when you're mentioning actually Mayapur, there are so many people who do that. They have a
Yeah.
house, they have land behind little, and then they grow vegetables and everything there. And in Mayapur, the weather is better actually for growing and all vegetables and all throughout the year. Actually, very beautiful. Actually, just
That is
think.
the most one good point for India because the all like in here is only 2 months of summer.
Yeah, that is
I
not.
tried so many things at my garden because of the backyard. I do, the sun doesn't come because all the shades and vegetable doesn't grow in the sun. I
That is the
tried like
problem.
3 year consecutive years, nothing happened.
You need sun, Manasi. Without that, it's so difficult actually. But
Yes, bro.
that too, we are living in the center of the city or whatever it is. For farther away places, you see so much sun, so much land is there. But unfortunately, just have to be connected to the job and everything, and then we are just caught up into so many complications here.
Yes,
Hi,
bro.
Krishna. I'm speaking about I'm myself. I'm not able to do it. I have a desire to do that, but I don't know what to do. So that's the thing.
What you have some meeting call, Prabhuji.
No, unfortunately, not meeting call pro. But yeah, just I was thinking how I made my life so complicated, Krishna. Just really difficult.
We don't have any
Sometimes
Goshala, right, Prabhuji, for Farmington,
We
ISKCON
not in Farmington. There is one in
in Farm.
Epsilon.
It's land. Okay.
They have that farm, but there
Prabhu,
are
I have like we have so many other gaushalas here. I'm not sure how they're taking care of the cows. That is the main important thing that how they're taking care of that cows.
there is in Toronto, Madaji, suburbs of Toronto, far away. There is one devotee who is a Gaushala. Actually, one of the devotee gets the milk from him. Actually, they go far away. It's very far. I don't know how
I
far.
think Caledon, I think you're talking
Ah,
about in
yeah, yeah,
somewhere.
yeah, yeah. Correct. I
Brampton.
just heard that. Correct. So he has that, and then actually in Canada there is another farm community in near Vancouver actually called a Sharanagati. So they live on that. They take care of cows. They grow.
In Surrey, in British Columbia.
Ah, in British Columbia, it's the farm community is called a Sharanagati or something. Um, yeah, never been there. There was a desire that I'll go one day, but then whatever has happened and all. But yeah, it's super complicated, Krishna.
The only problem in here, even like in Canada, this is because of the weather.
Yeah, I agree. But it's that's the same thing, and then even Sharanagati, but they still grow, and then they harvest so much that they use it for the entire year from that. But they live together as a family. Multiple families live together in harmony. They have their own school. All that system is there. Oh, wow, this is great actually. I'm just worried for my kids. I'm like, oh, they are going in higher grades now. I don't know how to take care of that.
It's
But
I
this,
think it's the mindset is
yeah, yeah,
also like any even in India like is there is so many gurukuls and popping up for the kids
yeah,
that what they're teaching over there is just how to survive just a normalcy of the life because
yeah.
you're not studying anything in that way but you're just studying the like a daily basis lifestyle because in future there's believing in the skills the job will be only of the skills and all
Oh, yeah.
these all these people right now I have seen they have so much mental issues Forget about anything else. Look at whenever I see this news, I guess bewildered because all these women are, when they are so vicious to
Hmm.
others. I never knew that this that gonna happen.
It's difficult, Mataji. That's the whole idea that one has to unlearn with whatever going on with AI and all that stuff. It is ultimately all the skills are going to help, not these IT jobs and all this stuff. It's a chaos actually right now. Anyway, I am way over time, 3 minutes over time, but very grateful for your presence today. We will continue the 30th quality next week religious.
Thank you, Prabhu.
Thank you. Hare Krishna. Srila Prabhupada ki jai.